Welcome to Class Time English Language. I am Sherlyn Woodburn. Let us begin our lesson. You can think of this particular tense as the most sophisticated tense in the English language. I invite you to think of it like that. No wonder it is called perfect. We did lesson 1 on the perfect tense. We did lesson 2 on the pluperfect. And today we are pulling everything together with the future perfect tense in analyzing the 3. So 3 is your perfect number, and today we are taking a look at all these tenses. And before we go deep into our lesson, let us examine again our CSEC English B copyrighted objectives. We should be able to identify stated or implied time sequence. Explain meaning conveyed through word choice and grammar. Interpret and respond to pictorial communication, and use appropriate diction and grammatical forms to convey meaning clearly and with facility. Okay, that means fluency. Now let us review our past lessons so that we can create memory to process today's analysis. Revision of tense. Remember this picture? Tense means time. Okay then, tense means time. And we use different tenses to show shifts in time. Now, if I were to make some statements about this picture that we have here, in the context of today's lesson, I could say the future will be bright, okay? Because the sun is coming up, so I'm expecting the future to be bright. The past had been dark, all right then? So it's coming out of night. In today, the past had been dark, and the sun has been rising right now. So we have the 3 parts of our tenses: will be, okay, future, had been, pluperfect or past tense, and has been, perfect tense. Okay, so those are our 3 examples. Now, how did we define the perfect tense again? According to our Oxford Concise English Dictionary, we looked at the perfect tense to mean denoting a completed action or state or a habitual action which began in the past. Okay? Formed in English with have or has, plus the past participle. So let us take a deep look at these 3 parts of the tense. So it is one tense, and it has 2, okay, words to form the tense. So if it is plural, the subject is plural, then you would have. And if the subject is singular, then you would use has. Now, this action is happening now, present, have and has, present, right now, but the past participle form is showing that even though it is happening now, it did not start right now. It started in the past. Now, what is a past participle? Remember that the past participle is pushing the past beyond the past tense. All right then, and we are going to look into that some more. So, for example, they have eaten. That is the perfect tense. They, being plural, have plural verb. I bet you didn't think that have is a verb. Of course it is. Have expresses possession. Okay, then. Sometimes when I give a sentence and I say, they have their books on the table, and I say to you, underline the verb in the sentence. Some of you say, Miss, I do not see any verb, but yes, have. Okay, then, they have eaten, in which eaten, okay, then, is the past participle form of eat. So present tense eat, past tense ate, and past participle form eaten. So this is an example where the present tense form of this verb and the past participle form of eat, they have eaten. All right, so let us move on and continue to look at how we can form these tenses. So we have here the perfect tense, which is in the present. So the perfect tense has to do with the present. Some persons call it the present perfect. But if you say perfect, you mean present right now. So something has to do with now, perfect. So these two tenses, pluperfect, which you sometimes call past perfect, and the future perfect, they all have something to do with the present. So notice these arrows. This one is going back from the present, and this one is going forward from the present. So then, in the present, here are the verbs that we use to express the perfect tense. So we may say, they have eaten, where this particular verb is an irregular verb. And what is an irregular verb again? It is a verb that changes in spelling when you form either the past tense or the past participle. Now, this one is a regular verb. So then, the regular verb usually ends with D or ED. So we say the verb is regular. And we could use they have eaten or they have jumped, in which both verbs right here are in the past participle form. And you will learn those verbs in the same way that you learn your timetable. For example, you say 2 1s, 2 2s, 4. For example, you say present tense, eat, past tense, ate, and past participle form, eaten. Okay then, so we have those in our memory to use. Now over here now, we have had. So then, the past participle, eaten and jumped, are still being used as examples, and we switch to had because we are expressing the pluperfect tense. Okay? Past perfect for some of you, but the original name is the pluperfect. So we say had eaten. So you would say they had eaten or they had jumped. So the past perfect or the pluperfect tense is expressed with had, which is the past tense of has or have. So the past tense plus the past participle gives you the pluperfect tense. Now we are in the present and we are expressing some idea toward the future. So then the future perfect is expressed with will, have, will have. So it doesn't matter if the subject is singular or the subject is plural. Did you know that? Well, today you will remember that. I can say, I will have eaten by 9 o'clock tonight. I can say, I will have jumped. She will have left. They will have. Okay then? So it is they will have, plural. She will have, singular. Okay? So it is always will have. Eaten, if it's an irregular verb, or jumped, if the past participle is a regular word. Okay, let us move forward in our lesson. The past participle form gives you trouble often. Many times you write and you do not put on the D, for example. So we are taking a closer look at the past participle form. What is a past participle? Now, our source tells us that it is a word formed from a verb and used as an adjective or noun, or used to make compound verb forms. So we were looking at a compound verb form a while ago when we were in this slide. Okay? So you have more than one word that comes together to make up a phrase. All right then? So here we have the past participle. And for example, this is an example of being. Okay? This being is the present participle. You call it present continuous. Okay? Present participle form of the word. Okay then, so this is a past participle form of which verb? Okay, be. Okay, so present tense be. All right then. What is the past tense of be? Was. Okay, I am not existing, so I was. The young guys, you have to say I was here. You know, they write it up all over the wall. I was here. Okay then, very funny. And then we have been. Past participle form. So been is a past participle form of be. And you have a word here, burnt, for example. So burn, burned, burnt. Okay, burnt. And that is showing you the difference between the present participle and the past participle form of those words. Okay then, so we have looked at the past participle, and now we are going to go into the pluperfect. Okay, am I going too fast? We looked at the perfect tense, and we said that the perfect tense is when you write at that time in the present, you are thinking of something that you happen to be engaged in, but you started it sometime, not right this minute, okay? I can say I have been teaching because I started a few minutes ago, all right then? So the perfect tense really helps you to express that the thing you are doing at the moment, right? You did not just in this minute start to do it. It started at some time before. So the perfect tense, okay? And then we looked at the pluperfect tense. It is when you want to say that all the things that you did were really in the past. But in the past, you want to say it happened way back. So had, you switch to had because had is the past tense of has or have. And then you add the past participle form. And now we are at the pluperfect. And what is the pluperfect tense? The pluperfect tense denotes an action completed prior to some past point of time. Okay, so that's the pluperfect tense, which is sometimes called the perfect tense, the past perfect tense, and I just explained that. Okay then, so let's move forward. Now let us do a little test now to see how well we are learning. Study the pictures. We have two pictures here. Can you see it closely? Okay, the two pictures here are some persons here, and this is a party. Okay, and some visitors are coming. So at 10:30, one person left the party. And at 11, another person had just arrived. You know, some persons are late goers. They don't go to the party at the beginning. Okay, they take their time. And they wait until the party is hot. So they go. So at 11, someone arrives. Okay, so then, someone is arriving, and if you were to express this, you would say that Margaret, okay, when Margaret arrived at the party, Sam had gone home. Okay then? So we have expressed this in what tense? Had gone. Pluperfect tense or past perfect, okay? Past tense of has and the past participle form of go, okay? Okay, what's the past tense of go? Went, okay then, I got you. Okay then, went. And the past participle form is gone, all right? Okay, so we have the pluperfect tense right here because this action is being pushed back. Okay, this part is in the past part, and this part is in the present part. So when the person arrives in the present, this had already happened. Okay then, so let us move on. I hope you got that correctly. So how is it now that we are going to get this done? We really start by thinking of the past tense. If you wish to refer to something beyond that, beyond the past tense, shift, you use the pluperfect tense. Okay then, all right. So you do it in relation to the past because you want to say it's not really the immediate past, but it happened before, not so immediate. All right, so here is our little test now. One more test. Okay, check your skill now. So this is taken from To Kill a Mockingbird. Remember that novel? It's on your syllabus. Okay, when was the last time you read To Kill a Mockingbird? Okay, all right, you can build your grammar from reading. So then, let's read this. Okay, it suddenly came to me that each day we had been staying a little longer at Mrs. Debussy's, and that the alarm clock went off a few minutes later every day, and that she was well into one of her fits by the time it sounded. Today, she had antagonized Jem for nearly 2 hours with no intention of having a fit, and I felt hopelessly trapped. The alarm clock was the signal for our release. If one day it did not ring, what would we do? Okay, who is talking? Scout is talking. All right then. So let's see if we can spot the tense. Okay then, which tense is there? Is it the pluperfect tense? Where is the pluperfect? Is it in this line? Okay, which lines are carrying the pluperfect tense? Let's see. We are looking for the pluperfect tense. So let's go back to that slide. Had been. Okay then, had been. So had been is a pluperfect tense. All right then. And the next line is had antagonized. Okay then. Those are the pluperfect tenses. Sentences with the two occasions for the tense in that extract. All right then, so there it is. Okay, so that's the answer for our little quiz right there. All right then, so let us move forward in our lesson, and the answers are there, and we are going to move forward in our lesson. So then, we have looked at the perfect tense, the pluperfect tense, and now we are at the future perfect tense. Okay then. So we use will to express the future perfect. But there's something very special about will. Okay then? You use will. Let's go to the whiteboard and look at the times when we use will. We use will when we are offering to do something. Now, note this will. You don't use will if you made up your mind before. Okay? If you made up your mind before, you say, I am going to do something. I am. But if at the spur of the moment, someone asks you to do something, then that's when you use will. All right then? So know the difference. We use will when we are offering to do something right now. Will you take my bags? Yes, I will. When you are agreeing to do something. Use will when you are promising to do something. Okay then? And use will when you are asking somebody to do something. Do you remember that? You think you will remember that? The difference is when you are writing. If you had actually made up your mind before you express yourself, say am. But if at the time of writing or speaking, you are just deciding, you say will. Okay then? Bear that in mind. So when we are expressing the future perfect tense, okay, you use will in that context as well. All right. So let us see if we can take a quick look at what we said before. Back to the board. Here it is. Will have. And we want to be really certain when we use will, what we really mean. You do not mean that you made up your mind already. You mean that at the moment you have made the decision and you're expecting to do something. All right. Okay then. So I will move now to looking at the future perfect. So then, it is a tense of verbs expressing expected completion in the future. Expectation, right? In English, exemplified by will have done. So that's an example where will is your expressed intention to do something, have right now, and done is a past participle form. And we were looking at the future perfect tense. Future, okay, in grammar of a tense expressing an event yet to happen. Yet to happen. Okay then? And the future perfect in grammar is a tense of verbs expressing expected completion in the future. Okay? And we were saying that to analyze will is expressing your intention to do something. Have is now, present, and done is the past participle form of whichever verb expresses whatever it is that you are saying. Okay? And remember that I said that if you have already made up your mind, completed or arranged the thing, you use not will. Okay then? And that's a subtle difference between the two. Okay, so let us move forward. I could say right now, I will have finished this lesson in an hour. Or I can also say, I will have finished this lesson in another 20 minutes. Or I can say, you will have learned to use the future perfect tense. Those are expectations, and we use will to express those. So then, let us go deep into our analysis. When we are using the future perfect, how do we use it? Right now, have, okay? Present tense, plural, have. You could have also has, that's singular when the subject is one. Made a decision for future action, will. Add the past participle form to the verb. So you have eaten, or it could be slept, begun, jumped, looked. It could be regular or irregular. Now, have you heard the expression that says, they will have come? That's a very different verb. It doesn't follow the rule, okay? Because we have present tense come. What's the past tense of come? Came. Okay, and the past participle form of come is what? Come. Did you ever think of it like that? Come. So present tense come, past tense came, and the past participle come. So you see, there are some very strange words in the English language because you have some verb words that their spelling would change when you form the past participle form of those words, such as slept, present tense sleep, past tense slept, past participle slept, okay? What about begun? Present tense, begin. Past tense, begun. Past participle, begun, UN, okay? But what about jumped? Present tense, jump. Past tense, jumped. And past participle, jumped. And remember, come. Come is a very unusual one, okay? Present tense, come. Past tense, came. And past participle, come. Okay then. So we need to really keep those in mind very much when we are doing our tenses. Okay. And these are some examples of on the spur of the moment, right? I would just say this. Okay? We'll have done this lesson. We'll have finished. You will have learned on the spur. I did not make up my mind before. I'm just expressing that right now. Remember that usage of will. All right, test time now. Can you look closely at this picture? We are going to do some analysis. Very important. Now, here's a little story right here. And we are going to spot the tenses, whether it is a perfect or future perfect, okay, or pluperfect. That's right here. So let's go now. So Andy goes to work every day. He leaves home at 8 o'clock and arrives at work at 8:45. He starts work immediately and continues until 12:30 when he has lunch, which takes about half an hour. Men, they don't take long to eat. He starts work again at 1:15 and goes home exactly at 4:30. Every day he follows the same routine, and tomorrow will be no exception. All right, so the first one has been done for you. Let's look at it. Okay, look closely. Okay, so the day has just started, and at 7:45, we have 4 options now for 7:45. So the day has just started, the sun has come up, right? And we are looking into the day future, right, of Andy's time. So A says he'll be leaving the house. B says he'll have left the house. And C says he'll be at home. So you know he'll, the apostrophe LL is saying that the word is shortened to make the speech, you know, flow more easily. And D says he'll be having breakfast. Okay. All right. So at 7:45, he will be at home because the day has just started. The sun has just come up because Andy leaves at 8. So at 7:45, he will be at home. The time for him to leave has not come as yet because that's 8 o'clock. And he will be having his breakfast, okay? So we are projecting. Remember, the day has just dawned, and we are looking into Andy's day. So these two will apply, and these two are the future perfect tense. In the future perfect tense. Let us look at number 2. Remember that Andy will leave home at 8. He's supposed to arrive at 8:45. So at 8:15, which is correct, he'll be leaving the house, A. He'll have left the house, B. He'll have arrived at work, C. He'll be arriving at work. Which would be correct? At 8:15. Remember, he leaves home at 8 o'clock and he arrives at work at about 8:45. So at 8:15 now, he's neither at home nor at work. So let us look closer now. He will have left the house, okay? By 8:15, he will have left the house. So we look at B, okay? He's not at home anymore, but he's not at work yet. So you're projecting he will have left the house at 8:15. Let's look at number 3 now. Okay, number 3. Let's see. At 9:15, now let's get back to our little story now. So at 8:45, he's just about at work, and he's going to have lunch at 12:30. Okay, that's what his day is like. So at 9:15, he'll be working. He'll start work. He'll have started work. He'll be arriving at work at 9:15. Now, what should we have if we're checking for the future? Because the sun has just come up, you know, and we are looking out into Andy's day. So what do we need? We need to say will have. That's the future perfect expression. Will have. So which of these options is saying will have in the right way? C. He will have started work. All right then. He will have and started the past participle form of start. So remember the little exercise I gave you a while ago with the verbs before now? Some verbs keep their regular ED up to the past participle. Some change in spelling, okay? And some revert to the original tense spelling, right? Okay, but you know if you say, you will have come, you can't say come is in the present tense because you see that the Q says will have. So the moment you see will have, you know that you are expressing the future perfect, and the last verb word has to be in the past participle form. All right. So he will have started work at 9:15. Okay? Because 8:45 is already there and it's not yet lunchtime, so he will have started work. Let's go over to number 4 now. At 12:45, what time does he plan to have lunch again? 12:30. All right. And he eats for about half an hour. So he should finish his lunch about 1 o'clock or so. So let's look at number 4. At 12:45, he'll have lunch. He'll be having lunch, B. He'll have finished his lunch, C. He'll have started his lunch. Which is correct? Okay, we can't say having lunch because that part is not correct in the tense, okay? He'll have started his lunch, that's D. So, okay, so at 12:45, he will have started his lunch because the eating part started at 12:30. So at 12:45 is well into his lunch, okay? And that's 15 minutes into his lunch. All right, wonderful, very good. Okay, it's all falling together in place. All right, let us look at number 5 now. At 4 o'clock. So Andy, what time does Andy leave work again? 4:30. So at 4 o'clock now, remember you're projecting into the day, okay? The sun, it's just daylight, and you're projecting into Andy's day. So at 4 o'clock, he'll have finished work, A. He'll finish work, B. He'll be working, C. He won't have finished work, D. Which of those would you choose for the future and his future for the day? What time does he finish work again? 4:30. And what time is it now at his desk? 4 o'clock. Okay. He won't have finished work. All right. No. Why do we have won't? Why do we have won't? When I said to you that the perfect tense, the future perfect is expressed in will. Why would we choose won't? Is that incorrect? Won't is the negative of will. Okay, it means will not have. Okay then, so it's shortened, won't. Will not have. So at 4 o'clock, Andy will not have finished. If it were 4:30, you would expect to say, oh, then Andy will have finished work. Okay? But it's not yet that time. So we say, no, sir, he won't. He will not have finished because he has to go up to 4:30 to finish. All right. Okay, then. So look at the last one now. Number 6. What time does Andy expect to leave work? 4:45. No, Andy leaves work at 4:30. All right. 4:45 now. It's 4:45. So would Andy be still at work at 4:45? No, he wouldn't. Andy doesn't work overtime. Okay then. So A, he'll leave work. B, he'll be leaving work. C, he'll have left work. Okay then? He will have left work. Okay, at 4:45, he will have left work. Wow, okay then. So that exercise, I hope you got it in those, the perfect tense. And if we are looking at the future perfect, and we have seen that we can also express it in the negative form, as we did in one instance, right? You say won't. Okay, negative will not. Okay then. All right. So then, that was our little exercise on the future perfect tense. All right then. Now here's a little test again. This time you should spot either the perfect, pluperfect, or future perfect tense in this extract. This is coming from The Boy Who Loved Ice Cream, okay, by Olive Sr. So this is creative writing. And you know, when you're thinking about creative writing, the rules are relaxed a little. All right then? The normal writing convention. So you will see some sentences which are not written in a way that you would normally write, the standard, okay, for style purposes and creative purposes. Writers are able to do that, but the tenses remain the same. All right then, only the structure of the sentence would change a little, okay then, but the tenses remain the same. So let us take a look at this extract, all right? And the speaker is a family member. Now, he had never known of the woman being unfaithful to him. Now, this is a man who is speaking, and the narrator is in the mind of the man, all right then? And the man is thinking about his wife. It's a very tricky situation, and there's an implication there, right? Now, I would like to see if you can pick up the implications. I'm not going to tell you the implications, okay then? We are just going to sharpen our skill where the tenses are concerned. Now, he had never known of the woman being unfaithful to him. But the minute she had come back from spending 3 weeks in Springville, that time her mother was dying, from then on, he had the feeling that something had happened. Maybe it was only because she seemed to him so, beautiful, so womanly, that he had the first twinges of jealousy. Now, every Sunday, as she dressed in her neat white dress and shoes and the chaste hat, which to him sat so provocatively on her head, his heart quickened as, he saw her anew. Not as the young girl he had taken from her mother's house so many years before. Not as the gentle and good-natured mother of his children, but as a woman he suddenly perceived as being attractive to other men. So we had this very interesting reading, okay then? And we looked into the mind of this gentleman who's really worried about something. He's not quite comfortable, and so and so. Okay, so let's go to the tense now. All right, let's look at the first line. So we are looking to see whether the perfect, pluperfect, or future perfect is present in this extract. So the first line now. Do you see anything in the first line? Yes. He had never known. So remember, just a while ago I was saying to you that you can express a negative intention. And when you do that, you say, will not. So look at this. We have another negative intention right here. The left to itself, you would say this pluperfect tense would say had known. That's positive. He had known. But here comes never. So you insert that word to show that it is negative and not positive. So if it's will, and right now you're saying will do something, you can say will not, and that makes you're saying you know it's negative. All right then. So never. So the tense is right here. Had known, but had never known becomes the full expression, because never is very critical to the understanding of the interpretation, what is implied right here. All right then. So the first one is had never known, where had known is the pluperfect, but never is inserted to make it negative. All right. So that's the first one. What about the second line? Had come. Remember what I said about come? So this tense is what? The pluperfect. All right. Or the past perfect. So had come. And remember what I said? That this one is the past tense and this is the past participle. So here is come. So in grammar, English grammar, right? The past participle of come is come. And the past tense of come is came. All right then? So had come. So we have another tense right here. Let's go to the next line. Is there any in this line? Do you see any tense pluperfect, or future perfect in this line? Right here. Had. I bet you didn't know that one. Had. How do we get this had? You remember one of our lessons in which we did, okay, the pluperfect tense? So had is a past participle form. Remember the strategy. Okay then, the past participle form is like when you're doing, you know, LCM in mathematics. That one always is there. The constant. The constant will be the past participle, right? Because the past participle is the constant. If you're doing future, you will have will, have. If you're doing the pluperfect or past perfect, you have had, but the past participle is a constant. So the past participle of has is had. Okay? Present tense has, past tense had, past participle had. It's just like saying jump. Present tense jump, past tense jumped, past participle jumped. So this had is a past participle of has. And had now is the past tense. So the past tense plus the past participle gives you the pluperfect or the past perfect, as you often say it, right? So had. Did you ever analyze a statement like that? Had. Okay then. So then, let us look at one more before we wrap up our lesson. Okay? We can see another one in this line. Okay? As a young girl, he had taken. So lots of pluperfect in this particular one. Okay then? So we are coming to the end of our lesson, and let us quickly look at this. Okay, has been, perfect, will have spent, okay, future perfect, and had been clinched, pluperfect. Okay, and that's all we have time for today. Until next time, wash your hands, wear your mask, sanitize, and keep your distance.